There we go. Nice. And if we switch, it's gone. Perfect. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing the Ev800 mod, and we will also be doing the Ev800D mod in a later video, and it will probably be the next video or so. So what we're going to need for this mod is a couple things that are pretty cheap. Obviously you're going to need your module here, because that's the whole reason you would be doing this mod. So you need one of those Fatshark modules. Any Fatshark module, even a 2.4 gigahertz module will work absolutely perfect. So that's what we're going to need here, a module obviously. Alright, another thing we're going to need is we are going to need one of these right here. And I'll leave a link to this down below. I highly recommend you get the same thing, so we do the same thing together. So these are really cheap, like super cheap. So you're going to pick up a couple actually. These are very useful sometimes. So get a couple of these here. And some wire. We're going to need some wire. This is a really nice wire I got from Banggood a while ago. It's just a solid core, super thin wire. It's a bit difficult to strip it, basically. It's a little bit difficult to strip this wire sometimes. You just need a little bit of practice. But once you get it, it's really nice wire. I mean, it's just really good. It's not amazing, but it's really good to have. Like, I am constantly reaching for it now since I started using it. So that's highly recommended. And obviously the EV800s, as well as some sort of soldering iron. I'm using the TS100. I love this guy, and that's what I've been using. So enough talking, let's get started. So a cool thing about this little goggle here, actually I put it on, I tried it out in the shop right here, and the field of view feels as if I'm wearing my HD3s, believe it or not. However, I do kind of get cross-eyed a bit because I haven't used the box goggle in so long, and my preferred goggle is the Fatshark HD3s. So I could see why people were recommending these. They're really nice. However, the comfort or the ergonomics on the face wasn't all that good, but it was decent enough. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Skyzone V1s, for example. I mean, you could totally fly with these. So that was really nice in that perspective. So another cool feature of this is that it can be set up as a ground station. So you would push this like so with no wires involved. I mean, nothing, no screws. You could remove this. Now it's a ground station with a little tripod holder, which is really nice. Alright, so enough talking about this, let's get started. Now, a couple things you need to know. First is you need to get to this stage here, and you should probably know how to do this by the time you've received it. Now, all you need to do is remove 4 screws, and I've already gone ahead and done that, and then just easily pop this off. This comes right off, so it's really nice and simple and easy here. Now, let's see the internals. So what we're going to do first is we are going to unplug the battery, because that's very important. Obviously, be careful because you can have the back of the board touch the screen here. I don't know why mine doesn't have any padding between, and I'd highly recommend you add some padding or something between these two so you don't risk anything shorting out. So there we go, we've removed the battery. Very nice. And now out comes the board and the screen. Pick them up together because all that's holding them is the ribbon cable right here. So let's move this to the side. We're done here, and this is where all our work's going to be. So there's a couple techniques we're going to do. You might have shielding right here. I went ahead and removed it, and we might have to remove it, and I'll explain all this in a little bit. So next step you want to do is you want to grab these guys right there, and you want to go ahead and just, you know, slightly, they're pretty stiff, so don't apply too much pressure. Just, you know, just keep until they open up somewhat, just nicely. And you're not supposed to be also using a lot of force to pull this ribbon out. If you are, stop and pull these out a little bit more. These are a pain. If you break this, you're not really screwed. You can go to a computer repair shop and they'll replace that for you, but try to go to a pretty good, decent one. All right, so now we have the screen out. We don't really need it. Now we need to take a look at the board here. So let me reset everything here so we can take a look in a better position. All right, guys, so now we have the board here, and it's a pretty simple design. What we have is this circuit here is the LCD microcontroller unit, and it has a built-in OSD, and that's how you'll be getting your battery voltage and what channel you're on, which is really nice. It's a really nice little package here. So this is the microcontroller unit. Obviously, this whole circuit in this area pipes down to the there we go, the screen here. So that's nice in that perspective. Now the video out on this little receiver module is always next to ground. That's how usually these come. Most of them, like 98% of these come right here. So this is ground, so this was video out right there. So let me just get something to point with just to make our life a little bit easier and a little bit more precise. So this was the video output, and the video output, I've traced it down, and I've checked also the Let's just see, why is it not focusing great? We need to take a look here. So I've also checked up the data sheet on this. Now this has 2 inputs, and we can actually choose one of the 2 inputs, but there's an issue with that. The second input is grounded for some reason throughout the whole circuit. So we really don't want to touch that, and I really do not want to go into cutting up traces and just injecting it in. There is no other place where we can actually get into that, which was kind of a shame. I was really upset that I couldn't do that. So we will have to basically either desolder this whole thing or just hijack it, basically like kill the power on this guy. We'll take something off of here, kill it, and then just add our video input here from the Fatshark. I'll explain that in a little bit. So basically here, pin 4 is the input. It's going through one of these capacitors and a couple of these resistors, and then from, I think, this resistor and one of these 2 here, it's routed all the way to here. So that's how the video out is working through inside this circuit. Video out from the receiver, and then it's going through there. This resistor, these 2 resistors, and then it's, I think, this one, and it's going through one of these caps right here, straight to pin number 4. Is it pin number 4? Yeah, pin number 4, because pin number 5 would have been the AV in, or the second input that's available, but we were unable to take control of that. But if anyone has any idea, please let me know down in the comment section. And the reason why I'm not really going after it is because the second input, which is the AV input, is actually grounded. All right, so let's take a look here. So what do we need to do now? Well, first thing is power. Power is very important because these guys take 5 volts, and these guys, when they're just in their bare state or module state or whatever you want to call it, they usually take 3.3 volt, and these guys usually all take 3.3 volts, and everything here takes 3.3 volts. Now, one telltale sign is the battery. It's a 1S LiPo, and I did try to find if there is some kind of a boosting circuit with these coils, but no, it's 3.3 volts all over the place. Well, it's basically 4.2 to 3.3 volts all over the place. Well, we can call it 3.3 volts. So we need 5 volts. And the way to achieve 5 volts is we're going to have to use one of these guys right here. And these are really nice and really cheap, and I really love them, and I have a bunch of them. So I'll leave these linked down below. We are going to be needing this because the power will be coming out from this guy to the Fatshark module here. And then all we need is a single video line to pop out to this guy. But we also need to kill the internal receiver so we can go ahead and get our signal in. Now, we can somewhat also get away with doing something else, but it's not really recommended. But if you wanted to try it, go ahead and do it, which is you don't have to kill this guy, but desolder this. And this overall stronger connection will probably get piped through, but you'll probably have some static. And I really don't want to go about doing that. We're just going to kill the guy in here, or you could just easily desolder him. Now, to remove the shielding here, it's just held together with 2 points of solder. I just heated it up and just went like this. It came up, and then the other side. It wasn't really that difficult, so it shouldn't be that difficult to remove this here. So first things first, let's start with the power here. Let's put this guy to the side. We're going to put the Fatshark module to the side. We're going to go ahead and bring up this guy. So as you can tell, this is the battery here. And it's really nice. It's really labeled B- and B+, which means obviously battery, ground, and the battery is positive, or power. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 wires. All right, as you can tell, I've already added solder here before. And we'll do it again also. Just put a little dab here just to freshen it up. We're going to need to add just a little bit of solder because that's where we're going to be taking our power from here. I think it's the cleanest, and it's all around the best solution. There's obviously many other places to grab power from, but this is the way we're going to do it now. All right, so the soldering iron is ready, and let's just go ahead and add a little bit of solder. So we're going to set up the solder right here, and just add a little solder on the tip, clean it up. And I'm using a sponge to clean up. I used to use the copper, but it just became really messy after a while. All right, so we're going to add just a little bit of solder to these, just a tiny bit. There we go. Nice. Now we have some fresh solder. Next step, we want to grab this little guy right here and just set up some solder here. As you can tell, it has VI, VO, and just a middle pad with nothing labeled. VI is the voltage in, so that's going to be the 3.3 volt from the battery. The middle one is the ground, and you might say, okay, well, why is there only one ground? Well, you're going to use the same ground for both in and output here. Okay, and VO. So there we go. Now let's go ahead and grab some wire. I already have some wire prepared here. So let's just do that together. And There we go. I'm using that single strand wire here. All right, so VI is the voltage in, which is going to be the 3.3 volt from the battery. And we'll get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a red wire, which is for power. Okay. Make sure if I like that. Yes, I do like that. That's really nice. Now we're going to come in with the ground. Now the ground is going to go both places, so we might have to put 2 wires here. So we're going to need actually a longer wire later on. We'll do that possibly on the other side. Now let's just set this up here. So there we go. Here's ground. Very nice. Okay, so now we have the voltage in, and now we need another red wire. Now this red wire and the black wire that's going to be connected here is going to be powering the Fatshark module. Now if you flip the Fatshark module, not all of them have this, but they're all exactly the same layout. Let's take a look here. As you can tell here, it's kind of dirty. That's how it came. VCC would be the 5 volt. NC, you would leave it. The third one would be ground. And then there's the voltage. Now, if you see these 1, 2, and 3, these are what controls the channels. Now, if the Fatshark module has that circuit to allow it to control the channel through these instead of just the on-screen here, then we could easily solder channels 1 through 3 on the board and have it also control the module. So you'll be able to use these buttons to actually control it. However, I don't know which ones do have that circuit, connected directly and working perfectly within them. So we're not going to be doing that. But if if your module can do that, then you can, and you probably know a little bit about electronics, and you know where to solder those 3 channels right there. So you could control it through these buttons. It'll be really nice because you could also get the OSD to work on that thing. But maybe in the future we'll still find a module that actually works, and we'll test it out. All right, so let's go ahead and put this to the side. Now what I need to do is I need to find some wires kind of like this, but female, so we can connect these guys here. We're going to need 3 wires. We're going to need ground, positive, and voltage. We can also connect audio, but I'm not going to connect audio. So we need 3 wires, white. We need yellow, black, and red. So I'm going to go find me some wires, which I can just easily slide on here and be long enough to create a nice little connection. So give me a moment, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I've gone ahead and found me a wire. Now, this is left over from an old flight controller or something. I have no idea. But it's basically this type of connector. Silicone all the way to the perfect type of connectors that we want. Now the ground pin was in the middle, but I went ahead and replaced it. This is absolutely phenomenal because it skips on the modules. Now all modules are exactly the same. You just have to know which side to start with or you'll burn it. This one's labeled, which is really nice. So you can see the top one is VCC and the third one is ground. So I would just put that in like that, and I powered it up. So what we want to do now is let's just remove it. And let's start running our power to our module before jumping into the video part. So I'm going to cut it as far as I can because I want to keep as much as I can of this wire. Because it's silicone, thus it'll last longer through a lot of movements and reduces the chance of it breaking inside the circuit here from constant moving. Alright, so let's go ahead and see this. Where is the... Alright, so now we have this guy that we prepared earlier. Let's go ahead and prepare this, which is going to go to the module from this guy. So let's go ahead and prepare the wires. And prepare the soldering station. So I love silicone wires. Try to keep it as small as possible, but you can always shorten them out if you wanted to. Alright, there we go. Twist that guy. Alright, now we need our solder here. There we go. Just waiting for the soldering station to heat up a little more. It might not just work right away. Okay. Beautiful. So it's very important that you ground it from that module that we're going to stick in, or else you won't get 5 volts. So, which is this module. So there we go. So this is VI, which is the voltage in, which we're going to be taking from the battery of the goggle here. This is the ground, and we're gonna need to add this ground to that ground. So we're gonna need to put these 2 grounds together here. So let's start with that. So I'm gonna make sure I get that just right. Okay, you want to make sure you have 2 ground wires coming out from there now. Okay, double check both wires are still in. Yep, both wires are still in. Now we have the VO right there, and that will be the red wire that's on the connector that we just added. So let me just clean these wires up a little. Okay, there we go. All right, so you can see that now. Let's just take a look. So we have the 2 grounds there. That'll take battery from there, power, and then this will be going to the Fatshark module, as you can see. And now we can go ahead and test it. And I think I burned the LCD with the soldering iron right now. Hopefully not. We'll see that in a little bit. Okay, so that'll go there. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to take these 2 wires and connect them on the board where the battery rail is. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep them same length here so it'll be nice and clean inside. All right. So this is what I mean by this wire is a little bit hard to strip sometimes. You just have to get a feel for it and then pull it out. So it'll be good. So let's start with the, let's actually twist them out a little bit so we don't have wires going everywhere. All right. There we go. So we have positive, red first. So let's do red first. Okay. There we go. All right. So we got that positive wire and we're going to set it up on the positive here. This is where we added solder earlier. And all right. So let's go ahead and set that up. Okay. So that's in, making sure it's in. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get the ground. All right. There we go. Hopefully that's in focus. Yes, it was. I think I looked up the last second. Okay. There we go. Now we have power here. So this should be providing, once we connect the battery and boot this thing up, actually before it even boots this up, it should give battery here. So it should give actually 5 volts and should power up this guy. So now let's go ahead and grab this and let's see which one's VCC. And I'll teach you a method to figure out which is ground VCC in a little bit once we finish. So VCC is up top, third one is ground. Okay. So now theoretically and realistically, if I insert this, hopefully we should see no smoke and this guy should power up. Make sure this guy's not touching. So let's see. I saw a light go up. There we go. So now this is being powered, which is really nice. That's the multimeter there. Beautiful. So this thing is working and beautiful. So we unplug it. All right. So we finished the power now for the module there. Now we need the video. Now the video is going to be a bit tricky here. Now what we can do, there's a couple methods we could do. You could remove this whole thing. That's one. And what the other method would be to, I think if we remove that right there, that's the 5 volt in, which is kind of doing something in here. I didn't really check what this is exactly. I couldn't really read it anyways. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pop this off. Now I know for sure for me, I'm never going to use this internal transmitter. So what you can do is you can just grab one of these and pop this off if you wanted to, or you could just desolder it off. It's up to you. So I think we should have just desoldered it off actually. So you can also get like nail cutters and that'll really help also. So theoretically, we don't want actually, I think that was a really bad idea because, really bad idea. I thought it would be a little bit easier than that to get it out of there. All right, let's see here. So we're gonna need just some tweezers and a soldering iron. We're gonna try to go ahead and remove this guy. Okay. And while you're removing this, you got to be very careful. You don't want to go ahead and, sorry if that was out of the camera. You don't want to go ahead and accidentally bridge anything. So you just double check everything here. As you can tell, there's a little something jumping up to the other side there. If you can kind of see that right there. I think, is that solder? No, that wasn't solder. So yeah, just be very careful. And the way we can figure out if there's something bridged, hopefully, is we set up our multimeter in continuity mode and we count from here. So this is ground right here. So ground, this is obviously video. And then this would be channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, ground, 5 volts. So if these two make a noise, then we have some sort of short circuit in here which can cause issues everywhere else. So now theoretically this should be dead. Okay, so what we can do now is let's go ahead and test this guy. So I need some kind of a quadcopter or a VTX. All right, so I've gone ahead and connected a quadcopter. Let's set up the power here, and it's broadcasting on A2 currently. Actually, let's remove the power. Hopefully I didn't ruin the LCD, because I saw that the my soldering iron was right next to the screen, so hopefully that didn't get ruined. Okay, let's put this guy in. All right. Okay, now we're gonna press power. Perfect. So, okay, so let's just see. It's backwards because it's the way how it's installed. Let's go to menu, AV. There we go. Yeah, I think it's dead now since we're getting a black screen. So I think that's perfect currently, because usually you would get static. All right, let's just change the channel then. We want to change A2. All right, yeah, so we killed it. So just by removing that little black piece, we basically killed this guy here. Let's check if there's anything hot. Nope, it's not hot. So yeah, it seems as if this is dead now. So that's really nice. So now what we want to do is let's go ahead and power this off. I'm gonna go ahead and power it off. Okay, there we go. Unplug the battery, unplug the LCD. Luckily I didn't burn the LCD. I'm very happy. All right. Okay, so let's move this guy here. So now all we need left is a yellow wire, or whatever wire. We need the video. So let's go ahead and set up the video now. Okay. It's gonna be very simple and straightforward. Now, mounting or setting this up, I'm not going to be doing, a nice way to set this up. You can use your own imagination, and I'm pretty sure if someone makes some kind of a 3D printed thing for it, let me know. And on my second mod video, or if I really like it, I might also do it. So what the hell's wrong with this? Why isn't it melting? So what I'm trying to do is fix the ground here, the solder for the ground. Let's zoom in. Okay, let's see. Okay. I'm just fixing this here because it's really nasty. It's lead solder. So yeah. So this is the video now, which is the second pin here. And the way to figure this out is you need to find the ground on the edge. Once you figure out the ground on the edge, then the second one over is video. And then once you know this is ground, you can go here and say channel 1, 2, 3. These control the channels. Channel 1, 2, 3, and then you get another ground, and then you get another 5 volt. So it's just, they're all pretty much almost identical. If you ever forget, put RX5008 in a Google search, and it'll give you kind of a pinout for that module. And just follow it along, so you'll just know wherever's ground next to it is video. So we're going to get our video wire now, and we're going to set it up to this guy right here. Okay. Make sure it doesn't touch that line, if you can see it, which is the ground. That like copper line that's outlining, that would be ground usually. So I'm just taking it off camera just to double check I'm not touching it. It seems like I am slightly, and I don't want that, so I just need to make sure I do this correct here. Okay, so that's in. Beautiful. All right, so moment of truth, guys. All right, so we're gonna get our module. Or not, first let's power it up. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and check this out. So we're gonna plug in our screen. Make sure this black little thingy is down. Okay. There we go. Plug these guys in. Just don't push too much. Make sure it's aligned. You don't want it to be bent to something shorts out. This one, make sure where this one's placed so it doesn't get in the way and touch anything and short circuit something. All right, so now we have our screen connected. It's going to be upside down because the way it's meant in here to be put inside. Okay, now we added power. Now I'm going to go ahead and boot this guy. Okay, so we boot it up. We have a black screen. My VTX is still running over there. I completely forgot about it, which is not really good to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my module. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the VCC and ground. wait for it to boot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the correct channel from right now. So when we just, there we go. It's already on A2, I think. Yeah, it's on A2 and it already has a signal, as you can tell right there. So that's perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the video feed. If everything went perfect, once I install this, we should get a video feed right here. So which one's video? Audio, audio, video. And there we go. Can you see that? So that's perfect. We do have some bit of noise. I don't know if it's from my, what is it called? I don't know if it's from my quadcopter over there, or it could be we just need a little voltage regulator on the way out here. Some kind of low ESR that's coming into this guy and cleaning him out. So I'll show you that right now. Okay, so let me just turn this off because I'm very much afraid to short circuit it right now. There we go. Beautiful. And then just gonna unplug the power. All right, so the mod actually just works perfect. Now I'm not sure if this is the noise that's coming in from the quadcopter that's next to me or not. But if it is from that, then I recommend you get some 100 microfarad low ESR capacitors, which I've also picked up, but I have no idea where I placed from Banggood. And they are real low ESR capacitors. I'll leave a link to those down below. And what you'd want to do, see, I'm not sure if it's my quadcopter or not just yet. And what you'd want to do here is add them to the VO and the ground. So I'd go on this side and I'd add it to the VO and ground. Now when you purchase this, make sure you purchase the same one that I provide, because there's a lot of these that could drop the voltage down to 1.5 volt, 3.3 volt, and 5 volt. They look exactly identical, so be very careful and very cautious. And it has a bunch of voltages in the title, so make sure you get the one that I link down below, or you might just never have it just might never work. So there we go, guys. This is how you would set it up. So let's go ahead and finalize this thing. What we can do is, you see this search button here? Obviously this is not going to be used anymore, so we can actually route the wires through here. Let me see how it will pop off. You could cut this off. Let me see. Yeah, it might be too big here. Let's see. Power button you're going to need. These you're not going to need. Let's see. Menu, band, channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop off the channel button here, because I'm not going to need that one. So we can do, just cut that off right there. And even if you cut it off, you didn't break it, it'll still work. So there we go. So now I'll be able to route my wires through this one right there. However, you could do whatever way you want. This is the way that I'm planning on doing it right now. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our board. Battery wire out. There we go. Okay, so that's in. Very nice. Down in. There we go. That went in. Perfect. So here we go. I'm actually going to put these guys. All right, so let's go ahead and give it a test now. So we're going to go ahead and plug in our, there we go, our Fatshark module, audio, video. Beautiful. All right, and now let's press power here on the screen. There we go. Nice. And if we switch, it's gone. Perfect. It's really, really nice. That is super awesome. So now you could use Fatshark module, especially at 2.4 gigahertz, or now you have yourself a ground station, a diversity ground station for like what altogether, like $50 maybe, which is really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the screen here. So yeah, so we did kill the internal receiver, so that's really nice. As you can tell, it goes black. And now basically you can actually connect anything here, really. Just give it ground and power and you can watch whatever you want on this, which is really nice. So there we go. And that's it. That's how you set up a Fatshark mod on the EV800. So the next one is going to be the EV800Ds. They already have a pre-built diversity. It should be a little bit more complicated. And this one will have a second part where we also add a DVR. The DVR will try to fit it inside. I saw enough room in there, and I do have it like those Eachine DVRs. So if you want to purchase one of those, I'll leave a link to them down below. Those greatly support the channel, and you'll be ready for part 2 when we add a DVR with the diversity. So it'll be really nice. Obviously, I forgot that you don't have DVR on this. So yeah, we can just add a DVR, which would be super cool. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude it for this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider joining my Patreon. It really supports the channel. $1 a month goes an absolute long way, and I do a lot of giveaways there. And you can also use the affiliate links down below. You don't have to purchase the same thing, but if you use them before you purchase anything, that really supports the channel as well. And any support goes an absolute long way, so it'll keep enabling me to request things like this from Bing, and they also provide them to me, so that really does support the channel. And yeah, that's it guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Peace out guys.